Why people respect some individuals. Instantly, some people walk into a room and immediately command respect. They don't need to introduce themselves loudly. They don't try to dominate conversations. They don't compete for attention. Yet somehow people notice them. People listen more carefully when they speak. People hesitate before interrupting them. And even strangers seem to treat them with a certain level of regard in public setting. At the same time, other people struggle to earn respect even after long conversations. They try to impress others. They explain their achievements. They speak confidently. Yet the reaction they receive often feels lukewarm. This difference raises an interesting question. Why do some individuals gain respect almost instantly while others struggle to receive it? The answer has less to do with status or achievements than most people assume. Respect is largely a psychological reaction. It is not only earned through accomplishments. It is communicated through behavior, through signals, through subtle cues that the human brain interprets automatically. To understand how respect forms, you have to understand how the brain evaluates people. Human beings constantly scan their social environment. This scanning process happens mostly below conscious awareness. When we meet someone new, our brain rapidly evaluates several questions. Is this person confident? Is this person emotionally stable? Is this person trustworthy? Is this person competent? The brain uses observable signals to answer these questions. Posture, tone of voice, pace of speech, eye contact, facial expressions. These signals combine to form an impression, and impressions form very quickly, often within seconds. One of the strongest signals that creates instant respect is emotional control. People who remain calm in different situations signal stability. Stability suggests confidence. Confidence suggests capability. If someone becomes easily flustered, overly reactive, or defensive, the brain interprets this as a lack of control. But when someone maintains composure, even in tense situations, it communicates something powerful. This quiet confidence communicates that the person trusts themselves. It's not an arrogant display, but a deep, internal conviction in their own judgment and capabilities. They don't need to be the loudest person in the room to feel secure, because their validation comes from within. This self-trust is a foundational element of earning respect. It's the bedrock upon which all other signals are built, and self-trust is contagious. When you're in the presence of someone who is genuinely self-assured, it has a stabilizing effect. It creates an atmosphere of psychological safety. Think of a team leader during a crisis. If they remain calm, trusting in their own and their team's ability to navigate the challenge, that confidence spreads. It quells panic and inspires focused action. People are naturally drawn to and willing to follow those who provide a sense of stability and certainty, especially in uncertain times. Another powerful signal deeply connected to self-trust is a person's comfort with silence. In our hyper-connected, noisy world, silence has become a rarity, and for many, a source of profound anxiety. Most people rush to fill any conversational lull. The moment a sentence ends, they feel an overwhelming compulsion to start a new one, to fill the perceived void with noise. Silence makes them uncomfortable. It can feel like a spotlight, exposing a perceived lack of something interesting to say. They worry that quiet moments will make them appear awkward, unintelligent, or uncertain. This fear is a direct symptom of low self-trust. It's the worry that if they stop performing, if they stop producing words, they will be judged negatively. So they speak quickly, tripping over their words in a race against the impending quiet. Their pace betrays an inner anxiety, a need to get their thoughts out before they are interrupted or before the silence returns. They over-explain, adding unnecessary layers of detail and caveats. Instead of making their point clearer, this often dilutes their message, making them sound less confident in their core statement. They are essentially trying to preempt any possible question or disagreement by burying it in information. Ultimately, they talk more than necessary. This verbal filler serves as a defense mechanism, a shield against the vulnerability of a quiet moment. but in doing so, they inadvertently signal a lack of confidence and a discomfort in their own skin. But individuals who command respect often behave differently. They understand that silence is not a vacuum to be filled, but a space to be utilized. It is a tool for emphasis, for reflection, and for connection. They are comfortable with pauses. They use them to let their words land with greater impact. A pause before answering a question signals that they are giving it genuine consideration. A pause after making a key point allows the listener time to absorb it fully. They speak deliberately. Their words are chosen with care, not thrown out in a panic. This economy of language conveys precision and authority. It tells the listener that what is being said is important and has been thought through. There is no wasted energy, no verbal clutter. They do not rush their responses. They are not afraid to take a moment to think. This simple act communicates immense self-trust. It says, "I value this conversation enough to give your question proper thought, and I trust myself to find the right answer, even if it takes a second." This calm, measured approach to communication is a hallmark of a person who is truly respected. This behavior signals confidence. Because someone who feels secure does not feel pressure to fill every moment with words. Silence, when used naturally, creates psychological space, and people pay attention to those who create space. Another factor influencing respect is consistency. People trust individuals whose behavior remains stable across situations. Someone who behaves confidently one day, but insecurely the next, creates uncertainty. Uncertainty weakens respect. But when someone behaves calmly, thoughtfully, and predictably across different environments, others begin to rely on that stability. Consistency signals integrity. Integrity builds trust, and trust is the foundation of respect. Body language also plays a powerful role. Human beings are extremely sensitive to nonverbal cues. These cues often communicate more than spoken language. People who hold themselves upright, maintain balanced posture, and move with measured pace send signals of confidence. These behaviors indicate comfort in one's own presence. In contrast, restless movement, shrinking posture, or avoidance of eye contact can signal insecurity. Even when the individual possesses strong skills, insecure body language can undermine perception. Another important element is attention. People who command respect often listen carefully. They allow others to finish speaking. They respond thoughtfully rather than interrupting. This behavior communicates value. It signals that the speaker is worthy of attention. Ironically, giving attention often earns attention. When people feel heard, they respond with greater openness and respect. On the other hand, individuals who constantly redirect conversations toward themselves may appear self-centered. Self-centered behavior weakens respect because it signals insecurity. Another subtle factor that influences respect is restraint. People who speak less but speak meaningfully often command more attention than those who speak constantly. Scarcity increases perceived value. When someone contributes thoughtfully rather than frequently, their words carry weight. Others begin to anticipate their input. This anticipation creates influence. Restraint also applies to emotional expression. Individuals who react dramatically to minor situations can appear unstable, but those who maintain measured responses communicate strength. Strength is not the absence of emotion, it is the ability to regulate emotion. Respect also grows from clarity. People who know what they believe tend to express themselves more directly. Their statements feel grounded. They do not constantly change their position to gain approval. This clarity signals internal stability, but clarity must be balanced with openness. Arrogant certainty damages respect. Respect grows when clarity is paired with humility. When someone expresses confidence in their perspective while remaining open to new information. Another interesting element that contributes to instant respect is independence. People who appear overly eager for approval often weaken their own influence. Constantly seeking validation suggests insecurity. But individuals who appear comfortable with disagreement communicate independence. They express their thoughts calmly. They accept that not everyone will agree. And they remain steady even when opinions differ. This independence signals internal strength, and strength often attracts respect. Another factor influencing respect is responsibility. People who accept responsibility for their actions demonstrate maturity. They do not blame others for every problem. They acknowledge mistakes when they occur. They focus on solutions rather than excuses. This behavior builds credibility. Credibility reinforces respect. Another important quality is reliability. Respect grows when people consistently do what they say they will do. Promises kept, deadlines met, commitments honored. Reliability may not attract immediate attention, but over time it becomes one of the strongest foundations of respect. People learn that your words align with your actions. This alignment creates trust, and trust deepens respect. Another dimension of respect is competence. In its purest form, competence is the tangible proof of our ability to contribute value. People naturally gravitate towards and respect individuals who demonstrate skill in meaningful areas. It's a fundamental signal of reliability. When you are competent, you show others that you can be counted on to handle challenges, to solve problems, and to uphold standards of excellence. This isn't about being the best at everything, but about mastering your specific craft, whatever it may be. Competence communicates capability. It's a quiet language spoken through action, not words. It's the mechanic who diagnoses a complex engine problem just by its sound, or the project manager who foresees a bottleneck weeks in advance. This deep-seated skill builds a foundation of trust. We trust that competent people will not only perform their tasks well, but will also navigate the unexpected with grace and expertise. Their ability provides a sense of security and stability for everyone around them, making them a pillar within their team or community. But competence alone is not enough. In fact, when it exists in a vacuum, it can become a significant barrier to earning genuine, lasting respect. We've all encountered the brilliant jerk, the individual whose talent is undeniable, but whose attitude makes collaboration feel like a battle. Their expertise might be valued, but they as a person are often merely tolerated. This is because their behavior broadcasts a message of superiority that overshadows their skill. Many highly skilled individuals struggle to earn respect because their behavior actively undermines their ability. For example, someone who constantly brags about their accomplishments, name drops their successes, or dismisses the contributions of others may appear deeply insecure. This need for external validation suggests that their self-worth is fragile, built not on quiet confidence, but on the applause of others. Arrogance creates a wall. It prevents open dialogue, discourages feedback, and makes others feel devalued. It turns a potential partnership into a power dynamic, where others are reluctant to share their own ideas for fear of being belittled or ignored. Now, contrast this with someone who quietly demonstrates skill while remaining humble. This person lets their work speak for itself. They don't need to announce their value. Their results do it for them. Humility, in this context, isn't about thinking less of yourself. It's about thinking of yourself less. It's the confidence to be open to other perspectives, to admit when you don't know something, and to give credit where it is due. This approach doesn't create walls. It builds bridges. It invites collaboration and makes others feel safe to contribute, fostering an environment of mutual respect and shared success. This quiet confidence often gains far more admiration than loud proclamations ever could. Competence paired with humility creates a powerful, magnetic form of respect, because it signals both ability and maturity. This combination tells the world that you are not only good at what you do, but you are also grounded, self-aware, and respectful of others. It shows that your confidence comes from a deep, internal well of self-assurance, not from a shallow need for external praise. This is the person who, under pressure, remains calm and focused. They don't place blame, they seek solutions. They don't hoard knowledge, they share it freely to empower those around them. They lead by example, proving that the greatest strength lies not in elevating oneself, but in lifting up the entire team. This is the true hallmark of a respected individual, someone whose skill makes them valuable and whose character makes them indispensable. Beyond competence and composure, the respect we command is profoundly influenced by our personal boundaries. Think of boundaries not as walls that shut others out, but as a clear set of guidelines you establish for yourself and communicate to others. They are the invisible architecture of our professional relationships. People who maintain clear, consistent boundaries don't just earn respect, they teach others how to treat them. This is because at its core, setting a boundary is an act of self-governance. It demonstrates that you are in control of your own actions, priorities, and emotional responses, which is a powerful signal of inner strength and stability. When you operate from this place of self-awareness, others instinctively recognize you as someone who is grounded and reliable. Boundaries are the most direct way we communicate self-respect. When you protect your time, you're saying that your focus is a valuable resource. When you safeguard your energy, you're acknowledging that your well-being is essential for sustained performance. And when you uphold your principles, you're showing that your integrity is non-negotiable. These actions send a clear message: I value myself. Therefore, my contributions are valuable. Imagine a designer who blocks out 2 hours every morning for focused creative work. When a colleague asks for an urgent chat during this time, the designer doesn't just drop everything. They calmly explain their commitment to a project deadline and offer to connect as soon as their focus session is over. This isn't rejection, it's a demonstration of discipline and respect for their own work, which in turn earns the respect of their colleague. Conversely, individuals who operate without clear boundaries often find themselves in a constant state of reaction, trying to please everyone around them. They say yes to every request, even when their plate is overflowing. They avoid disagreement at all costs, fearing that any form of pushback will be seen as being uncooperative. This behavior doesn't stem from a lack of desire to do good work. It comes from a place of insecurity, where their sense of value is tied to external validation and the approval of others. They believe that being endlessly available and agreeable is the path to being liked, and by extension, respected. However, the opposite often happens. This constant people-pleasing can severely reduce respect. Why? Because it inadvertently signals a lack of personal standards and a wavering inner compass. When you agree to everything, you implicitly communicate that your own priorities are not important. Over time, colleagues and superiors may begin to see you not as a dedicated team player, but as a resource to be exploited. Your time is seen as infinitely flexible, your energy as endlessly expendable. This lack of boundaries creates an environment where your contributions are taken for granted, not valued. The initial desire to be seen as helpful backfires, leading to burnout and a quiet erosion of professional standing. Now, let's be clear. Individuals with strong boundaries will occasionally disappoint others. They will say no. They will decline opportunities. They will hold the line on a principle even when it's unpopular. In the short term, this can create friction. Someone might be frustrated that you can't help them immediately. A team might be annoyed that you won't agree to a shortcut. But these moments are crucial tests of character. By holding your ground respectfully, you are not being difficult. You are being consistent. You are demonstrating that your actions are guided by a stable set of values, not by the shifting winds of external pressure. This consistency is the very definition of integrity. And integrity is the bedrock upon which lasting respect is built. While the people-pleaser earns fleeting approval, the person of integrity earns enduring trust. People learn that your yes is a genuine commitment and your no is a principled decision, not a personal slight. They know what you stand for. This predictability doesn't make you rigid, it makes you reliable. Over time, the initial disappointment others may feel is replaced by a deep and abiding respect for your character. They respect you not because you always agree with them, but because they know they can always count on you to be true to your word and to yourself. Another factor that contributes to respect is emotional intelligence. Emotionally intelligent individuals understand social dynamics. They recognize the feelings of others. They respond with empathy. But they also maintain their own emotional balance. This balance allows them to navigate complex situations effectively. People naturally respect those who handle emotional situations with care and composure. Interestingly, respect is rarely achieved by chasing it. When people try too hard to be respected, their behavior often becomes performative. They attempt to dominate conversations. They exaggerate accomplishments. They attempt to prove their worth constantly. But these behaviors often create the opposite effect. Because respect is not forced, it emerges from consistent behavior over time, from calm confidence, from reliability, from integrity, from emotional stability, from competence expressed without arrogance. The individuals who command instant respect are often those who feel comfortable being themselves. They are not trying to control every impression. They are not constantly evaluating how they appear. They focus on the interaction itself. And that focus creates authenticity. Authenticity is powerful because it signals that the person is not performing. They are simply present. Presence is rare. In a world full of distraction, someone who is fully present stands out. They listen. They observe. They respond thoughtfully. This presence makes people feel valued, and people naturally respect those who make them feel valued. Another interesting aspect of respect is that it grows stronger when individuals remain composed during difficulty. Anyone can appear confident when circumstances are easy, but when situations become stressful, true character becomes visible. People who remain calm during conflict demonstrate emotional strength. People who maintain fairness during disagreement demonstrate integrity. People who remain focused during pressure demonstrate resilience. These behaviors deepen respect significantly. Ultimately, respect is not about controlling how others see you. It is about controlling how you conduct yourself. When behavior reflects stability, integrity, competence, and self-respect, respect often follows naturally. Not because it was demanded, but because it was communicated through consistent signals. And over time, those signals become reputation. A reputation built on calm confidence and reliable behavior becomes extremely powerful. Because people begin trusting the pattern. They know what to expect. They know the individual will remain steady. And that steadiness creates influence. The people who earn respect most naturally are not those chasing attention. They are those focused on character. Because character is visible in behavior. And behavior communicates far more than words ever could. Remember, respect is earned through consistent action. Thank you for watching, and if you found this valuable, consider subscribing.